What is up, my friends? It has been a long time since I was here in the systematic factory uh doing any work. Took a long break from playing Oxygen Not Included. And there's been a new update, and I kind of want to play with that, but I really want to finish this world before I get started with anything new. So I hopped in here. I haven't done anything with it yet today. I just wanted to say hi first and take a look around together and see where we were at, because it's been a while since I've been in this world, and wanted to see what we've been doing. So the main goal with this playthrough was to get all the achievements done, and let's take a look and see where we are on that process. We still haven't done any of the main ones, but we have a lot of the rest done. So the space race is something where we just need to launch a rocket, which we're almost ready to do. The research tree is dedicated, or it is prerequisite doing the space race, because we need to go into space to get the items we need for the research. Critter Whisperer is the same thing. We need to go to space to get the gassy moo and some of the other creatures we need, so we can tame some of them. Some of these we can do now. I have them. I just need to set them up. Some reservations, I need to build 3 more nature reserves. That I can definitely do, no problem. Moving on up is the gassy moo, which we already talked about. Pretty cool. Getting a building down to 6 degrees Kelvin is also required to go to space first, because we need to get ingredients from space to make supercoolant. Otherwise, we can't get that cold. We don't have anything that will go cold enough without cracking pipes to do that temperature. Totally tubular I can work on right now. I just need to set up some transit system, and I should do that anyway. Same with get a room. The only ones we still need, we need a greenhouse and a hospital, and those are just rooms that I can set up and get that knocked out. Down the hatch is to produce 10 tons of refined metal from hatches. I still have hatches that I'm running. I can convert some of them over to smooth hatches and get some resources run that way to get some refined metal out of it and see how that goes. Easy living and job suitability are ones that have always been kind of a pain, but all we need to do is make it so that we have our duplicates all going through wearing suits. We can make that happen pretty easily once we set it up so that everybody is in their own little pods, which is what I was working on. And that way they're always wearing a suit whenever they go out, and we'll make sure they all have a job every day for 10 cycles in a row. Easy living is just one that it's kind of hard to do, just because you have to do a lot to get set up. But once we have more auto sweepers working than we have duplicates working, we'll knock that one out really easy. And then we have the DLC achievements, and I've been back and forth about whether I want to try to get those. I think I'm just going to focus on trying to get the ones we just went through done. So for today, let's try to do the ones that we have that we can really quickly knock out. So let's start with get a room. We need to build a hospital and a greenhouse. So if we go to our rooms, a hospital is a room that is at least 12 tiles, no more than 96 tiles, has medical equipment, toilet, mess table, and no industrial machinery. So currently we have these here. Where would we want to set up a hospital? I think just putting it in this space here so that it's by the door would be good. I don't really want to try to cram it into our base. So I'm just going to set one up over here. So to do that, let's look at it again. We need to have medical equipment, a toilet, a mess table, and no industrial machinery. So let's do a structure here. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we did it like that, that would be 12 tiles. That's super tiny. It's definitely going to be bigger than that. So let's just start from here. We'll put in what we need. We're going to need a door, obviously. Then we need to have medical equipment, which if we go into medicine, one of these triage cots will count for that. And then we needed to have a toilet and a mess table with no industrial machinery. So if we put in, under plumbing, if we put in, actually, let's just do an outhouse. I think it'll count that as a, no, let's do a proper laboratory. It's fine. And then we'll put in a mess table. And just for fun, let's give him a statue. Let's make it out. And then we'll put a wall here. We still want to be able to get over to there. You know, instead of doing it that way, let's just go like this. We'll put another door on this side. And I'm going to put another ladder there. Okay, so we can get this building built. That'll make our hospital. The other one that we need for the achievement was a greenhouse. So when we look at the building overlay for a greenhouse, we just need to have a farm station inside of a building that's at least 12 blocks. So where do we have crops? We go to our other colony. We have crops here that we're growing. What we could do is go down and put some farm tiles just a little bit lower. And then under food, actually no, it'll be under station. There will be the farm station. We'll put it like that. We'll put some insulated tiles around just to close it up. We'll slap a couple doors on there. So let's let that get built, and we'll let the other one get built. And then once we have them, we'll come back and we will check out our achievement. I'll never cease to be amazed by Duplicant's ability to find the worst possible situation for themselves. Every time they find a way to trap themselves or to put themselves in danger, I swear it's programmed to make it happen. I put some ladders up here. We're building out to get them freed. But every freaking time, it actually went pretty quick. This is built. It doesn't actually have any crops in it, and that's fine. It still counts as a greenhouse because it has the farm station in it. I probably will try to use the farm station at some point to increase crop growth, but I'm not going to do it right now. I just wanted to build it for the achievement. Back on Dampina, we have built our hospital. Again, the toilet doesn't work. Nothing here really is finished, but it's enough to trigger the hospital room, which gives us our achievement here for get a room. So that one is done. The other one that we can do really easily right now is some reservations and down the hatch, because all down the hatch requires is us getting a smooth hatch. And we're going to set it to incubate those. Now, we don't have any right now, but once we start feeding them copper ore here, they'll have a higher chance of laying eggs for them. And since this is still set up to drop the eggs off here, this will then put the eggs in here as soon as we get them. So we can let that go, and we'll just wait until we get some smooth hatchling eggs to handle. And then we can work on our achievement for our nature reserves. So nature reserves, as we know, because we have one set here, require us to have a park sign, 4 wild planted plants, and no industrial machinery. The minimum size of 32 tiles, maximum 120. So these are really useful to build because they give that really high morale bonus. I don't have a use for them right now. I just want to build them for the achievement. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set one up down here and get it done. So what we need to do, if I can remember how to build this, it's been a little while since I did the creating of a natural tile. So I'm going to mess around with that for just a minute off camera, and then once I have that, I'll show you how we're going to set it up so that we can create the 3 new spaces we need to have our nature reserve. Okay, the easiest way to demonstrate this is I actually built this here. You can see here I have a natural copper ore tile here. In order to build this, I'm doing it the same way I did this. What you do is you have a manual mechanized airlock made out of whatever material you want to make the natural tile out of. In this case, I'm going to use copper ore because it's just something I have plenty of. You build it and you have it surrounded on all sides. So you need to have 7 sides of the airlock block. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically you need to have this U shape around it. You can do it in a couple of different slightly ways in case you're trying to get it in a different spot, but this works. And you see, when they deconstructed that mechanized airlock, it creates a copper ore tile. And then what we're going to do for the next one is we're going to delete those 2 tiles, and we're going to put a new tile there. And we're going to put in another mechanized airlock right here, made out of copper. Oh, over here I was trying to get ahead of myself, and I put down a tile in the wrong spot. Oh no, they were able to get to that. We're going to put another mechanized airlock here as well. And you can see they're building this mechanized airlock. And then we're going to deconstruct it. Another thing we're going to do while they deconstruct that is I'm going to put 3 ladders over top of these tiles. And I'll show you why once we get to that. But now we have 3 tiles there, which means we can deconstruct the rest of these helper tiles that we built to get there. I'm going to put a door here to get in. And we're just going to put a mesh tile here to close the room up. And we're going to be doing the same thing over here. So let's put this here. This one we can deconstruct. And you can see we'll get another copper tile. So we're just going to repeat the process and do another tile here. Once he deconstructs those, we'll put in another mechanized airlock. And we're going to repeat that until we have 3 and 3. And the reason we're doing 3 and 3 like that is because for a nature reserve, we need to have at least 4 wild plants. So really we could just do that one. But pips have a way of planting plants where they will plant them based on how many plants are near them. So when you plant them 3 next to each other like this, and 3 next to them like this, you can end up planting 6 plants like that in that small of a space. And because it's that easy to do 6, I'm just going to do 6. So let's get rid of these 2 tiles. And we're going to put in a new tile here. Put in a new mechanized airlock there. We won't need this tile. So now we have all of our natural tiles put in. We're just going to finish deconstructing these blocks that were our helper blocks. Put in a door. Next thing we need to do is put in a critter drop-off here. And that's so that we can bring in some pips. I'm also going to sweep this room out just to get rid of the things that are in here. And we need to find the seeds that we want to use. So if we come up here, the easiest thing for us to do, since we have everything stored in one place, is to go here. We're going to grab an automatic dispenser. We'll place it right there. So once we put in the critter drop-off, we can bring a pip down here. And once we have this placed in, we can bring the seeds. So let's set this to bring in pips. And let's come up here. We have some pips that are running around in here. And they're just here because this is where eggs get dropped off. There's nothing for them here. So if I grab a wrangle command and I wrangle these guys, and let's do that at a high priority because I want them to do it now. Because I have a drop off for pips here and nowhere else, once they wrangle them, they should bring them down here. In here, we're going to go to seed, and we can plant pretty much anything in here for the purpose of this. Let's see what seeds we have. Let's just do thimbleweed. We have a ton of those. Real easy. Pips will plant it, no problem. So we go to seed. We find thimbleweed seed. We make it so that this is a high priority for them. That way, somebody will go and get me some thimbleweed seeds. I just need 6 of them. How are our pips going up here? They're getting wrangled. A couple of them will do just fine. That'll be more than I need. Problem is somebody's going to grab these seeds and put them back in. Okay, that's fine. Deconstruct this. And so now we have thimbleweed seeds in here. We have pips in here. All we have to do is wait for a pip to grab it. They go and plant, and they plant a seed. There we go. We have a naturally planted thimbleweed. The reason I have ladders over these is because I want them to plant these 3 first. Because it just makes things easier when they plant all 3 of these. Then I can open these up and they'll plant all 3 of these. If you get it where they plant one of the ones out of order, sometimes it can mess things up. And so what we want is just wait until they get all 3 of these planted. And then we'll work on the next 3. Alright, we're on the final steps of making our last nature reserve here. And our pips just need to grab thimbleweeds and plant them. That's number 3, so they just need to do 1 more on this side. He's about to go do it. Sometimes you have to be patient, sometimes it just works. Now, we did that just to get our achievement. So we got our nature reserves knocked out. But there is some practical purposes for doing this. And that's that it was really simple to put down doors. I did space these out so that we're far enough away, because sometimes when these are... The vertical height is important. So, like, if this plant is too close to this spot, it won't plant. So I spaced them out to do that. But for a practical purpose, it's pretty easy to build this tunnel. As far as size goes, this one is 44. It's 44. I made this one a little smaller, so this one's exactly 33. So you can make a really small tunnel, get 4 plants in it by building natural tiles using that door trick. Put a pip in, drop some seeds in, and get them some things planted. You could even make them more decorative plants to make it better. Or you could use this for farming techniques to plant them. But as far as the nature reserves go, we now have these rooms that all give 6 morale when duplicants go through them. And if we go to here at Hazardazzo, we're working on building up these pod living spaces that we're working on building. If we were to put it so that the only way out of this room is to go through one of those hallways with a natural or a nature reserve built into it, then every time a duplicant leaves to go do some work, they run through there and get a 6 morale bonus every day. And so we will do that when we get to setting things up here. So that there is a really practical purpose for what we did here, but mostly it was just so that we could get our other 3 nature reserves and be done with it. So, not too hard. That one's done. Next, we're still working on our smooth hatches so that we can refine some metal with them. What I did here is I made it so that we are... Let's get rid of this one too. Actually need a wrangle. Tried to sweep up, I think. We're going to sweep him up. This is set to allow stone hatches and hatchlings. There's allowed 7, there's only 5, so it'll move it over there. This one, we no longer allow anything except for smooth hatchlings in this room. So as soon as this one hatches, It'll end up in here. We already have copper ore here, so it's just a matter of time before the smooth hatches in here eat enough copper to make us the 10 tons of... Is it 10 tons or is it 1 ton? Let's check this out again. Down the hatch, produce 10 tons. So yeah, we have to produce 10 tons of refined metal. So we'll just keep feeding them copper. We'll get more of those as we go. We can actually make this one also smooth hatches. We are moving away from the hatch system entirely because we're pretty much out of food to feed them as far as sedimentary rock goes. We've eaten it all up. So either we need to come up with a renewable source for them or get another meat source. And we're already working on the shove voles here. So I have them. I have these shove voles over here that are just sitting here wild to provide us with food, and they have been. We've gotten a lot from them already. We're sitting on a lot of food, but we also have our shove voles over. We moved one over here because we want to tame this one. He's down to 41%, so that we can start getting eggs from him, so that we can start using our incubators to get more shovels, which we will then drop off in here to get to the point where we have a sustainable population that will provide us with food. That's the goal. There's more tweaking to do with it, but so we're getting rid of hatches slowly anyway. We do have other food we could feed the hatches because we have other types of rock. So like, let's just look at an example. We could go to... Where is the rocks? Rocks. There we go. We could do igneous rock. We still have 3,000 tons of it. We have a lot of granite, but shovels, we can do starvation farming and get plenty out of them. Right now they're going to be eating regolith, which we can get from space. So there's options there. We're going to work around with them, maybe come up with some different things. But that's going to take a while to get the smooth hatches to the point where they provide us with enough refined metal. As far as other achievements we can do, the only thing left that is not involving space is totally tubular. Totally tubular requires us to do 10,000 meters, so 10 kilometers by transit tube. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to go here. We're going to just set up a transit tube station. Trying to remember. I don't know if maybe we haven't done the transit tube access. No, here we go. Transit tube access is right here. We're going to put one. I think we'll just put it right here on top of this roof because I'm not going to do too much thought on this. I'm just going to move it for now so that we can have them using it to get around. And a place that our duplicants go a lot is down here because they're still working on metals down here. Another place, actually, there's a good place to do would be to bring them down to here because they come down here to empty out these whenever the oils need done. And that would actually be a practical way to use them. So we'll put a transit tube access here. We'll also put transit tube access right down here. That room is not quite wide enough. We can put it in here. We're going to have to find a way to patch it through the wall, which won't be hard. It'll just be a matter of doing it. We'll probably run the pipe through here or something and figure that out. But then what we need for that is power. These things take a lot of power. So if I'm going to just use power off of an existing line, that line needs to have a lot of power free. So let's take a look at our power lines. This one is already pretty full. This one is 2, so I think what we'll have to do is put in another transformer to run down here to get power to that one. As far as the one up here, we have a main line here, so I can easily set up power to do a separate line. So let's do that. Let's just put down a couple mesh tiles. I'm going to put a large transformer made out of steel. And then let's run a heavy watt line just straight across to give it power. And then we'll do a power line also made out of steel from here to there. And now all we have to do is figure out our transit tube lines. So transit tube starts here They can't do a turn like that. So let's bring them down this way. And let's bring them across. And try to think the best way to do this. Let's go for there for now. We have space where we can get rid of a tile on the end of each of these. And so we'll bring our transit tube down through here. Ladder's going to be a pain in my butt. So let's just come down one more like this. We'll come across like here. And then we'll have to figure out the best way to go here. I think if we just come down like this, it'll be fine. We'll have to figure out a way to get into here. So we'll do a little bit of work on that, but let's let this get built here for now. And then we'll have to, like I said, we'll have to figure out how we're going to come through here. This here is just solid wall. Let's cancel some of this, because coming through here where everything is very condensed, it's going to be difficult. But if I come through here and put a transit tube crossing that just comes out right like this, and then I deconstruct these. We can bend this pipe, we'll come down, we'll connect across here, we'll come down through here. So let's get rid of this ladder. Oh no, we don't need to get rid of that ladder. I can go to our transit tube from here. We can go up and across and connect to that. This one can come down and connect like this. But we're going to cancel this one here. And we're going to deconstruct this. Which means we need to deconstruct one of these corners just so we can get down in there to do the work. Put in, while we're waiting on that to get built, let's put in a space here to put in another large power transformer. Connect that up. And then we'll do a conductive wire bridge. We'll do some conductive wire. And another bridge. Okay, so once we get all that built, that'll have power to it, that'll connect it up. That means we'll have a transit tube that runs from here up all the way down. We need to connect this, connect this, connect this. This ladder is in our way, so we'll have to fix that. All of these are built. And once we connect that and get all of these things built, we'll have a transit tube that will come all the way down. And so now, all we have to do is wait for our hatchlings to get made so that we can refine the metal, and this to get built so that we can have duplicants. Duplicants who need to go down to do work in the oil area will, instead of going down and taking that long commute, they will come out, they'll hop in here, they'll run through the transit tube to get down here, and they'll go do their thing, and then they'll come back. And so, over the course of time, we'll get our 10 kilometers through the transit tubes. So we knocked out quite a few achievements in this one. Everything that's left, like I said, is all has a prerequisite of going to space. So in our next episode, we're going to go in here. We're going to finish building up this rocket so we can get somebody up into space to do the research. And then we'll bring them back down. We'll get our research running so that we can finish out the research tree with our space research. And then we can build some more fancy rockets that will allow us to do the rest of our achievements. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I know it's been a long time since we've been in this series. I'm excited to get back into it and get these knocked out, and then hopefully get into using some of the new features from the DLC after we finish our current playthrough. So let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.